Check. Here we go. We got Nupo. Just kidding. I did it because I just had it in the time. We got Yan. We've got Yan versus Mawkzy. We just had Nupo versus Mawkzy, and it was quite the series. It's left me in a daze, and that's why I call out Nupo here. But we got Yan versus Mawkzy as well, because Yan had 2 wins. A win over AJ and a win over apparently Jack, which had him at 2-0 before the stream started today. So I wanted to give him a chance to get a 3-win streak as well. And if he's able to, he will walk away with the prize that Nupo will for having won the previous match. Now, Mawkzy has to come off a frustrating loss, but not a loss where he got dominated. I actually think it would be worse to play after a series in which he got smoked as opposed to a close loss. Mawkzy did play well a lot in that series, just didn't quite have the edge. So we'll see how he does and if he's able to not tilt into the next series against Yan. Yan has been playing amazing. He's been playing amazing, and he played amazing before he kind of stopped playing ones. Everybody had him in the conversation as potential best. I think even myself had him alongside, I forget who was like clear number 1 at the time. It might have been Rawas. But TRK and Yan were both very, very good. Everyone could tell, but they hadn't really been playing a ton of games and had become a bit inactive. And hopefully we see them come back. One of the best parts about this time of year now, hopefully it ends up being consistent, is Gamers 8. Gamers 8 pulls out players who would otherwise maybe not play 1v1 and brings them back to the 1v1 game, which is great. In this case, it'll be Yan and TRK, who are both going to be back to workshopping it, even though they always have played before. But there will also be the occasional team that had nobody who played ones before, and they're going to be forced to try somebody out. And a lot of the times, there are some secretly talented 1v1 players there. I also think best of ones are tough to get reads. You'll see in Gamers 8 format, a lot of people will be able to steal wins in single games against some of the top 1v1ers, because I think they play a little bit unconventionally and the 1v1ers aren't prepared for them. I do feel that in a series, if they did get to play a series, a lot of those brand new ones players would have a tough time. Mawkzy right now, starting the series down 4 to Yan. This is not an easy position to play out of. It's going for multiple resets now. We'll see if he can lock back in to the regular style we see him play. He actually is able to dodge what I believe is the first air triple bump from Yan. Who would have guessed that? That Mawkzy's first goal would come off the back of Yan going for the tried and true. All reliable, and he's the best at it as well. Nobody air triple bumps better than Yan. Nice. Flip back to get the save. Mawkzy saw one go through, and he is starting to get warmed up to this game. Yan, early challenge. Somebody wanted to see the ping. 112. Actually, when we were testing the server, it was around 90 or so from Mawkzy. I think we were trying to find Mawkzy a good server in the past. Now it's 96. And he mentioned, maybe it was Chronic, mentioned don't reset the server after you find it. Don't start a new game because sometimes the ping gets worse, which was interesting. You know, my understanding was it's just the same server every time. This is a nice fake, by the way, to get Mawkzy flying for a 5th goal. But maybe that could have been the case. Maybe it deteriorated a bit. Yan, this dribble not going to turn to much of anything. Mawkzy actually makes it a scoring opportunity by diving. Yeah, Mawkzy. Yeah, Mawkzy's going to go next here. This is not the best of challenges. I mean, that was really a mistaken dribble. It should not have been able to be converted for a goal. And the only reason why it was is because Mawkzy dove and made it possible. Game number 2. Yan and Mawkzy. Mawkzy shaking off a bit of the mental that was affected by the previous series, I believe, in that first game. But at some point, he's going to forget. At some point, the task ahead will be the only thing on his mind. And that point might already be here with a early flick and a 1-0 lead. This whole thing is going to be played on US East servers, so Mawkzy will be at a slight ping disadvantage the whole way. And I talked about this earlier when he was playing against Nupo, but of course a lot of people may be just tuning in for this game. And that is that Mawkzy is not one to ever decline a challenge. I think he's accepted just about every match I've ever asked him to play if he physically could play it. And so when I brought up to him that if he wanted to play Yan, that Yan wasn't necessarily interested in playing cross-server, which is totally fine. I think I have no issue with players saying they want to play on their home server exclusively. It is a different game to play on a higher ping than you're used to. And, you know, once upon a time, that was widely acceptable, or like widely accepted as the only thing that you do, that playing cross-server is ridiculous. And then, first off, Yan getting an air dribble bump goal. We'll see that a lot. And then guys like KV1 came around and broke that game open and said, look, you actually can win against really good people on super away servers. And I guess the Middle East guys actually kind of did that as well on around 90 ping, which is what Yan would probably have. He might have a bit more than that if they played on EU. So those players make it seem like when somebody doesn't want to play away servers that, you know, they're being ridiculous. But I don't think so. I think it's totally fine to have the take that you want to play on low ping, and we'll get those cross-server matchups when they can happen. You know, Yan is the kind of guy who's going to be traveling the world, making majors and playing in big tournaments. So we'll get to see him in low ping matches against just about everybody at some point. But right now, Mawkzy is willing to accept the challenge that every Middle East player accepts every time they play a show match, which is try and win on 90 to 100 ping. And Yan has used another nice fake. Mawkzy has played fairly passively and let Yan bring these all the way to the net. Seems like that might be a mistake. Yan, ball to air dribble. Mawkzy staying planted on the wall, not coming to challenge him early. That might be a mistake, but could be just as hard to try and intercept him in the air. But he lets him grab the reset and even transfers from the back wall to the ground before challenging. And Yan's able to slot it top left. Yan dashing his way back to the ball. Another fake. Mawkzy doesn't get beat by this one, but the 50 does force him into the net, so he's got to play on 0 boost, and I don't think there's anything that Yan can do about it. Or sorry, that Mawkzy can do about it. Yan just slots it top shelf. We saw Nupo playing with the Falcons goal explosion, which obviously means he's guaranteed to go to the Falcons. There's no other explanation. And it looks like Yan's on his way to FaZe, because Yan, using the FaZe goal explosion, might as well just be a shift leak if you ask me. Yan on his way to FaZe in no time. So you heard it here first. Kickoff goal for Mawkzy. Yan, who had lost it, tried his best to stay with the play. Attacked with the very little boost he did have and got beat on the sidewall. Interesting kickoff from Yan. Sometimes people do those intentionally, but I swear it's just improvisation off of mistakes. Depends on how often it happens. Some players are doing that every 5 kickoffs, which I think they are really just trying to mix up the kickoff in an unorthodox way. Mawkzy couldn't get the save. Yan is too quick. Mawkzy's only chance was to slam it off the back wall or maybe get in the way of Yan, but Yan just demos him in the process. A shot here from Mawkzy. Still within 2. Mawkzy not going to the wave dash kickoff, just pushing the ball off to the right on the diagonal. Now he's back to the wave dash and he missed it. I don't like him to miss it. First touch from Yan isn't great. So, of course, he'll just get double reset and find a way to get it on target. What I mean by his first touch not being great is he gets demoed. Mawkzy will score off of it. Is that his first touch was out to the midfield, not anywhere towards the net. And I'd say just about every dribble that starts either not towards the net or even away from the net is going to have to be a double reset. It's going to have to be a double reset to get it back online. Mawkzy needed to score those. Mawkzy can't afford to miss a shot like that. Right now, those have been what has been keeping him in the game. Are kickoff goals like that. Misses this wave dash kickoff. And he get back for this. Oh, he actually threatened to save enough to get Yan to miss the chain dashing, and now he's confidently coming back to the ball. Instead of freaking out and letting Yan fake him, he knew he had grabbed boost, that Yan had fallen to the ground with nothing, and that there wasn't a lot to worry about. So it's hard to keep your nerves on the goal line like that. Mawkzy does. Yan gonna back off. Mawkzy quick to the ball. He wants the ball on top of his car, and Yan wants to stop him from doing so. Will he recover faster? He will. The pre-flip into the ball and ties the game. 6-6 against Yan. Mawkzy, wave dash kickoff again. This time just beating Yan in a race to the boost. This one's going to fall straight down to him. We've seen him mix those up a little bit. Sometimes he's gone for the bumps. This time he recognizes that he can just get to the boost first. Soldier Boy Gamer, by the way, thank you for the prime. I think I'm going to miss that when it came through 8 minutes ago. Yeah, an air dribble. He's not going to be able to bump on this one. Mawkzy actually probably just planning his counterattack as that dribble approaches his net. He's not worried about it going in at all. Wasn't able to score. Turns and dives. No, yes, that Yan doesn't have a ton of boost, so he's not likely to be super mobile. Now he's going to take his time. 30 seconds left in the game, so every second is fairly crucial as he looks to take a 2-goal lead. And 360 in off into the corner. Really just as like I'm trying to think of the word, but obviously he wasn't rushing back to net. He thought Mawkzy would shoot quickly. Wow. And only after he realized Mawkzy would delay, he realized he made a mistake and wasted a few seconds. Mawkzy, this flick is filthy. That is the Mawkzy special. Going top left. Nothing you can do about it. In fact, the only thing you can do about it is you challenge him early. As soon as you see him start to collect the ball and approach your net, you just panic challenge him. And maybe he pops it over you, but it's better than watching that flick go past you time and time again, which is what will happen if you let him get to that spot. Mawkzy has won the game. He drops it to the ground. Tied series. Mawkzy does shake it off. I'm sure a little bit of people were worried after that first game didn't go his way. Well played. Wow, no problem. How is there already beef again? Nothing has happened in this series so far. Mawkzy just farms beef. It doesn't matter. Well played. Wow. I think everything's fine, Mawkzy. I don't know. All it takes is like one quick chat and Mawkzy's already locked in on the beef. I mean, what did Yan say? I'm sure it had to do with the fact that Mawkzy said well played and Yan had lost. So he probably took that as a slight, even though I'm sure Mawkzy didn't necessarily mean it that way, or maybe he did, like a cheeky, oh, you played well even though I beat you. But I don't think so. It just, Mawkzy just incapable of having an interaction without it turning into beef immediately. Mawkzy, full field dribble. Not normally his game. Maybe this is why. It's because Nupo didn't say GG, or it's because Mawkzy didn't say GG. He said well played. But I don't know. Maybe, to me, that's like the same. Maybe it's even nicer. Saying GG is just like, I don't know. But I guess maybe if the other person lost, well played could be slightly toxic. But I've never been too worried about post-game quick chats. Short of like hardcore spamming something where you very clearly are mad or trying to make a point. Like specifically, Johnny was streaming earlier talking about GGs and the lack thereof. I just don't read into that stuff as much as everyone else does. Yo, thank you for the 18 months. Post-game quick chats for full amounts well. Thank you, the Danger Taco. But like, yeah, I don't even notice. One player will say GG and the other one doesn't. Or someone will be like, they only say it when they win. I'm like, it's all white noise to me. You just press the up arrow twice, you know, on the D-pad, or you don't. It's just like, it doesn't actually mean anything in terms of respect between players in between the games. I don't know, at least personally, I am not worried about whether or not people say GG to me. And all of this is just to say that when you play me in ranked, I mean, I might not say GG, but I promise it doesn't mean, you know, anything more than that. I just hate you and I hate that you beat me and that I'll never respect you. But other than that, it doesn't really mean much of anything. Mawkzy is having a tough time in game number 3. Down 3. Gone back to his aerial game again, which got him scored on the start of the game. Great controlling touch. I really like that play from Mawkzy. Side flipping to kill the momentum of the ball, keep it right where it was, so you could go grab boost and play the ball from there. Tried to connect with Yan on a demo. Yan now air dribble. What a 50! Yan's air dribble game. So well-rounded. I talked about Yan in the previous matchup, how well he did it, faking in order to set up 50s. This time he just sets up a 50 by getting over the top of the ball and giving Mawkzy nowhere to clear it. They get 5-0 and running away, or trying to run away halfway through this game. Mawkzy needs to figure out his kickoffs. So often that's the solution and the reason why you might be falling away in a game. Great placements. Good mix-up from Mawkzy as he slightly fakes. You can see those pump fakes on the wall. 2 different pump fakes, like he's looking for the power shot to the left post, gets Yan in the air, and then goes behind. He's won the race to the boost again. And importantly, he's convinced Yan into trying to get to the midfield as well, which gives him not much better of a position, although he's in a terrible position now. Yan farms these doubles. Oh, nice save. Mawkzy able to come back from having no boost. Tries to demo Yan, succeeds. Can he convert it for a goal? He wants to. He's doing another one of these setups where he side flips into the touch and onto the wall to try and recover out quickly. This reset gets dunked. But Yan just goes for the bump, so Mawkzy can single jump it. He wants the pinch. Mawkzy can score these. Doesn't hit this one, but certainly one of the better pinchers in 1v1. He is a menace right now. If he had 200 boost, that would have been a bit of a better play, but he missed his first dump, or sorry, his first demo, or bump. Just combine the 2 words. And then he went to go for a second one right away, which is fine. It connected, but the reason why Yan wasn't expecting it is because it costs him every last bit of boost he has, so there's not really anything he can do in the follow-up. So Yan is going to win again, go up 2-1. Mawkzy a couple forfeits. The 2 games that he's lost has been a bit of blowouts, but he does have 1 win. He's going to need to bounce back again for game number 4. Game number 4. Yan and Mawkzy. I'm sure if you looked at the goal differential so far between the 2, it is a series absolutely dominated by Yan, since Mawkzy's was a slight victory, and I think both of Yan's wins were complete blowouts. So I'm sure it looks like Yan's winning by even more than just 2-1. But it is 2-1 with Mawkzy with a chance to tie it up. Not an air dribble bump, but a flick into a bump, giving Yan a bit of a taste of his own medicine. He is the best to do it. I think we can just say it. He is the best air dribble bumper in the 1v1 game right now. You know how everybody complains about air dribble bumps? We should just force it down everyone's throat. Do an air dribble bump only 1v1. With Yan versus, I think, Rawas maybe. Rawas, who I think would be the peak of air dribble bump defense, versus Yan, who's the peak of air dribble bump offense. Wouldn't that be so exciting, chat? I would love it. I would love to see the chess match of the air dribble bumps and how they have to adjust. Yan tried to play quickly, cost him a ton of boost. Find himself landing on the right side of the ball. Mawkzy's trying to be really patient as he sets up his possessions. And it seems like he's willing to let Yan dive a few times as long as he eventually gets his 100 boost. This is a great play. This was just kind of masterful ball control from Mawkzy across the whole field. Even from when Yan was attacking on his net. Mawkzy just making sure every touch is his. And Yan just trying to challenge over and over and over again. Never is able to take it away. It all finishes with a pretty tough angle shot for Mawkzy. He's going to get scored on here, though. Mawkzy, kickoff win. Wave dashing to the boost. Yan thought he could do something about it early. Maybe felt that that was his best option. That is exactly what Mawkzy wants his opponents to do. He wants them to feel like they can make something work from those positions, whether it's racing to the midfield boost because they're sure that they might be able to win, or turning around and trying to see if they can get one more touch because it seems like that's the best opportunity. And then Mawkzy always seems to surprise, especially in those quick kickoff scenarios. Yeah, an air dribble bump. Mawkzy around it. Has Mawkzy been air dribble bumped yet? He has definitely gotten a save on the two biggest ones. He tries to counter with a flick, but he either needed a little bit more power or a little bit faster of a catch and control. What is he doing right now as he puts himself backwards? Lands in reverse pretty clean, though. Now he's trying to hold on to his possession with Yan chasing him down. We've seen Mawkzy doing most of the demoing. Yan, look at the creative shot here. Forces Mawkzy off the back wall, and then once he's done the important job, he just lets the ball pop off of his own car. Still a lead for Mawkzy, though. Big kickoff for Yan. The past couple kickoffs have not been going well for him, so it's probably smart to mix it up. Get Mawkzy, though. What a menace. You think you've earned yourself a comfortable free possession. Mawkzy makes that not the case. Now he's got himself a clear advantage. Huge boost advantage. Drop the ball to Yan, and it's going to be a pretty easy clear. So Yan should be able to reset. Actually deciding not to reset. Instead, play the ball. Mawkzy, though, is really good at punishing players for doing that. Yan should finally be able to steal this back corner. So now Yan, clear advantage. In fact, Yan, goal most likely. Barring some kind of miracle recovery. Mawkzy, very slight touch to put the ball back into Yan's half. Now he's got to play shadow defense. You know Yan's going air dribble bump, and he actually saves this again. He pushes Yan through the ball and then recovers. Mawkzy is not getting scored on. These air dribble bumps have worked at least a couple times, but Mawkzy has the clear advantage, and I don't think I've seen anybody have the clear advantage on Yan's air triple bumps. The only way that people have been able to handle them is how most people handle them, which is prevent them from starting. But Mawkzy's almost been inciting them, backing off, saying, please, I dare you to get up into an air dribble. I'll just save it. Yan just slammed this off the backboard. Now he's going to have to rush back to his half. He does escape the demo. And he should be able to return to the ball before Mawkzy's anywhere around. Bounce dribble from Yan, and it can look so simple when you do it right. Doesn't have to be a magnificent triple reset. A bounce dribble, cuts in field, and then back towards the near post. Mawkzy continues to give a ton of room for Yan to work with. Forced to back off on this kickoff. Yan the bounce dribble again. Tried to get a bump. It wasn't one of his full bumps. He just seemed like what he really wanted was placement in the top left. And he could do that with a tiny single jump, and then he might as well just follow through and see if he could get a bump as well. And he's got a bump here. Mawkzy gets another save. He gets bumped again. Mawkzy tries to backflip out of it because Yan bumped him what was going to be past the ball. So Mawkzy stopped his momentum by backflipping, but then he just got bumped again and taken away. Yan, the dribble. Mawkzy has to read the defense from Mawkzy. Normally, it's a death sentence to let Yan get to these many positions, to these air dribbles, to these air dribble bumps, to everything that he's been throwing at Mawkzy, but Mawkzy gets save after save. It's another close margin win. If Mawkzy's able to hold on, the demo secures it. The ball hits the ground, and Mawkzy ties the series 2-2 in this best of 7 with some impressive defense. Game number 5. Is Yan in a new Fennec chat? Or am I just going insane? No. Wait, which one? No, he's not in the new Fennec. This is the same one. Same one, it looks like. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just watch too many 1v1s, I think. That they'll all meld together, and then I'll think that a different car was playing at some other time. You are going insane? You know what? I had a feeling. You always slightly expect a car change. If a car change is going to come, it usually comes after a loss. There's chat pointing out Yan sticking with his purple Fennec. The air dribble bumps. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe I'm about to suggest that Yan should stop going to them. I mean, at this point, Yan almost has to just go to something else. I mean, normally, if you give him the kind of space to set up an air dribble bump, you're toast. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure Yan is not even used to it either. He's like, oh, if I get to do this, then I score it 80% of the time, if not more. So I'm just going to keep trying it. But it's happened enough times now that Mawkzy seems to have the edge on Yan's air dribble bump. And he's also seemed to get Yan to perform it to a worse level. Like, as Yan seems to search for the answer and the adjustment to his air dribble bump, he started to just put up worse ones, if you ask me. And I think that has a little bit to do with the fact that Mawkzy's done such a good job at saving them. But we'll see. He's up 2-1. I mean, it's almost like saying Mawkzy should stop flicking when given his space. Ooh, low 50. Yan has not let Mawkzy score ever through the air. This time, Mawkzy he got another one. He throws a no, presumably because he knows the follow-up is not his. Okay, see, Mawkzy could read right away that he hadn't done enough, that he saved this one, but his recovery was going to be worse. He actually tried to wave dash onto the back wall, but couldn't quite get there. So there we go. An air dribble bump back in Yan's favor. But even stopping the first one is something that people don't normally do. Ooh, that bump could probably be converted for a goal. It's going to come off a fake. He throws a sorry. The quick sorry before Mawkzy can even say anything. Mawkzy forced to attack the ball there. He's the one watching this replay now. I watched it for a little bit, but he's watching it too. Maybe setting the controller down, taking a breather. Chat, do you guys ever do this? Where when you're playing 1v1 in ranked, you watch your own replay of yourself getting scored on until the other player skips. Then you can decide. I definitely do this. As a power move, you don't pre-skip. If they're gonna try and force you to watch the replay, you just watch it yourself. And then so they see your name down there, you're like, yeah, I just wanted to watch it. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could work on. I'm not worried about you playing it back. That way they can't get the mental edge. If you pre-skip, oh, there we go. That's a bump right there. Yan throws the sorry. But if you pre-skip, then they get the mental edge. They get to force you to watch yourself get scored on. That was filthy. That was filthy. Okay, Yan found the mix-up. He needs to get a nice reset air dribble bump. Apparently, that's the answer. Mawkzy wave dash kickoff to keep himself in it. It's generous maybe to say keep himself in it, but there is 3 minutes left. 6-1 is certainly a tough margin to try and come back from, but not an impossible margin. Yan's going to get the boost for sure. Question of where does the ball end up after all this is the only thing up in the air. Mawkzy gets the first touch. Stop a shot, but now he's going to have to defend off only a pad. Yan! I wasn't watching from Yan's perspective, but it does not get much worse in terms of finishes. Did he run out of boost? Oh, he did. He shot that at 0. That makes more sense because he had Mawkzy in such a, advantageous position for him to finish it with just a handover. Why so talking for the chat? It's a joke. You see, everyone thinks I think a lot. Oh, I didn't even see what Mawkzy said. Mawkzy, you're probably better off turning off the chat, but most of the young players I've noticed watch with the stream up. I would almost say if you're like 15, 16 and under, it's almost more common to watch with the stream on, it seems like. To play your match with the stream on, which to me is insane behavior. I can't imagine focusing correctly with the stream actually on. Although I think I remember multiple times OSM doing it and taking all of Johnny's hints as the game goes on, but I'm not sure if that's the reason why Mawkzy and lots of others do it. Mawkzy was maybe hoping to bump Yan on the back wall there if Yan was trying to make a play on the ball. That's where he would have been, but he stayed patient. And he just lets one roll in. Top level 1v1, everyone. This is the way it could go. I promise you that this won't work in your lobby, but that's because nobody expects you to throw a nasty flick top shelf, so they aren't pre-jumping your shot. Go next. All right, there it is. A go next from Mawkzy. He doesn't want to wait out the last 2 minutes. He's down 5, but he believes in himself in best of 7s. He's got to get 2 straight. He wants to take down Yan. At the end of that last match, Mawkzy, will probably get cut out of the YouTube video, said, "Why does chat think I'm tilted? I have nothing to lose here." And that does bring up a good point that is worth mentioning that I'm not sure I have. Mawkzy is playing on away servers for the full best of 7, which definitely is an extreme disadvantage. And it's one that's probably worth noting, in the history books of the match, but certainly it will get lost. Certainly it will just be remembered as a Yan versus Mawkzy match, and it will be considered, equal footing. Mawkzy is playing a full away server series, so he certainly has lots to gain. A win over Yan on US East in a best of 7 is very, very impressive. And if he's able to keep it close while playing on entirely away server, that certainly wouldn't be a bad performance as well. But it's clear that he has been able to win a couple games, so I'm sure he'll only truly be happy if he walks away with a full series win. Again, up 1-0, make it 2-0. Mawkzy claims to be not tilted. But if someone were to be tilted, it certainly does not help to refresh into a new game and go immediately down. Mawkzy not able to bump Yan enough to convert a goal. He just used all his boosts and attempted demo. So now he'll be forced to back up to the midfield. Wow. Yan just slow played. It's very interesting. Mawkzy's actually played so well shadowing. I expected him to shadow the whole way to the net, but he actually turned in. He thought for sure Yan would start chipping the ball and going for a bounce dribble of some kind. He sees Yan on the left side of the ball and thinks Yan's about to touch it and start playing at midfield, and I'll be ready for that. Because it's a bit unorthodox to just let the ball completely roll, especially as far as Yan did. But of course, it was the right decision because it caught Mawkzy into turning in early. He's able to go behind him. So now it is 4-0. We saw Mawkzy bring back a 5-0 deficit to be a close game. I'm not sure he won that one, or did he win that one? Because I think most of Yan's wins have been by a decent margin. I think Mawkzy's actually forfeited every Yan win. I don't think any of the Mawkzy or any of the Yan wins have come at 0 seconds. Although one of them I think was 10 seconds. Very close. I don't know if that was this series or the previous one. Mawkzy needs this to go in. I mean, we talked about, I think one of these earlier, maybe in game 1, he had the same kind of situation. Earned himself a goal and then missed it wide. This time he missed off the post. And you can't imagine a world where he's missing those and still winning. What a shot from Yan. 6-0. Mawkzy says he's not tilted. Certainly that retreat to the net is the retreat of somebody who's played probably 7-8 hours of Rocket League today. It wouldn't surprise me to see even more. I know he's been streaming and playing show matches. Right now, 6-0. The first game was very clearly shaking off the match he had played before. Since then, you know, it's 2-2 between him and Yan. But right now, the finish definitely is back heavily in favor of Mawkzy. In fact, he's going to throw the GGs. 7-0. Yan, a great performance. Deserves credit for his win. Sure, he got to play Mawkzy on the away server the whole time, but Mawkzy is no easy person to beat. Yan's actually the first one out of the match. Thanks. Oh, he's gone. I'm never fast enough, man. Every player always says thank you, and then they're out so fast. GG's. Thank you to Yan for playing. Thank you to Mawkzy for playing 2 matches. Yan and Nupo both walking away with 3 game win streaks and the prize. And I appreciate Mawkzy for everything he does. Can you tell something? Can I tell the chat something quick? I don't know if I want to say yes to that. Certainly, you'll be nice to them, right, Mawkzy? Nah, not toxic. Then why aren't you just saying it? Why I don't think anything has ever been preemptively, you know, hey, can I say this? The answer is no. If you have to ask, the answer is no. And if it's something nice, you probably just would have said it. Right? People have to understand that I'm a human and have feelings. Sometimes I'm angry and today wasn't my day. Oh, okay. People should understand that having this pressure at a young age is hard to deal with. Hey, this is true. This is true. Mawkzy, we appreciate you and putting in a ton of work at once. It's definitely hard to deal with chat and stuff. I think the biggest answer, I mean, I know I personally, you guys have seen on stream before how I handle 1v1 losses. A good desk smash and some yelling. Probably best to just not have chat on and not, you know, tell yourself I won't message anybody until a bit after the game ends. We appreciate you for playing our game mode. Hey, I see chat is emote only. There is a ton of content today provided by Mawkzy, and there's no denying that. Mawkzy definitely gave us some content. 100% of people would punch their screen if they were me today. Hey, GG's Mawkzy.